Welcome back, everyone. In this video I'm going to teach you how to play Another in the Fire by Hillsong. You can follow along with the chord chart I've linked in the description. Under that is a link which will take you to tutorials of the different chords in the song, and underneath that is a link which will take you to a massive song database where you can peruse other chord charts if you want. Now, we're going to go over the timing of each part of the song before we actually practice it. Now, the chorus, there's what, 3 choruses? And I guess technically 4. And some of the choruses have a 1 chord difference from the other choruses, so I'll be sure to point that out. But here's just chorus 1. There was another in the fire, standing next to me. There was another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden, where another died for me. There is another in the fire. And the interlude, which you would play one time through once this chorus is over, is just another one of these A minor, F6, C combinations. So the vast majority of the chorus is, and actually in the case of chorus 1, the entire chorus is just this one pattern. It's going to be A minor, and then either an F or an F6, depending on what's written, C. And the timing on that is the A minor is 2 beats, the F or the F6 is going to be 2 beats, and then the C is going to be 4. How do you play an F6? Just for the heck of it, I'll point it out. Take an F, add a D. And it's actually kind of like combining the D minor and the F, playing them simultaneously, except with F as the lowest note. Now, there are other choruses where in the middle of it there's going to be a G over, we can look at chorus 2 for example, a C over B. And should I ever need reminding, and what you're doing there is you're doing a C over B for 2 beats, and you're stealing those 2 beats from the previous C. So normal pattern is A minor for 2, F for 2, C for 4. But here we would be stealing 2 beats from that C before it and adding it to the C over B, or C over B. And of course, if you want, you can just hold out that C for all 4 beats. It's not going to destroy the song if you do a longer C and don't do a C over B. In which case, you can just keep the same pattern. Now, verses. Here's verse 1. There's a grace when the heart is under fire. So the first 3 lines are going to be identical to the chorus chords. Another way when the walls are closing in. Just A minor for 2, an F for 2, and then C for 4. When I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, that's where it changes. I know I will never be alone. So the entire thing is that pattern A minor to F2, C4, except when you get to lines 3 and 4, it's going to be A minor for 2, F for 2, C for 2, and then the G over C for 2, which is going to be a G, but with an added C as the lowest note. So that's going to be the, when I look at the space between where I used to be, here's the G over C, reckoning. Alright, and now we can go over the tag. The tag you play through 4 times, and the tag is another place where you're going to shorten the previous C chord when you go into it. There is another in the fire. Oh, there is another in the fire. Oh. So you do it a total of 4 times. The last time you just hold that final C out for 4 beats, but every other time what you're going to do is you're going to do that final C for 3 beats and loop back. So it'll be like A minor, F over 6, C for 3, 2, there is another, G over B for 1, and then goes back to the normal pattern. So all you're doing when you throw in one of those additional like G slash chords or C slash chords is you're stealing a beat from the, or in the case of the chorus is 2 beats from the previous C to fit that chord in. So hopefully that makes sense. It'll make more sense as we play it too. Finally, the bridge, and the bridge is going to go like this. I can see the light in the darkness. darkness as the darkness bows to him. I can hear the roar in the heavens as the space between wears thin. I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us. Nothing stands between us. And then it'll repeat. So what we're doing there is actually pretty easy, because until the last two lines we're just doing 2 beats per chord. So easy to count. F for 2, C for 2, G for 2. When you get to the last 2 lines, it'll go D minor for 4. And then either you can hold the F for 4, or if you want to play that G in parentheses, and the parentheses means like optional, or like you only do it some of the time, but I'm just going to do it every time. So that would be an F for 2 beats, then that parenthetical G for 2 beats. All right, I think that's every part in the song, so now it's time to practice it. You can go ahead and adjust the playback settings if you want to practice at a slower pace, and I will potentially miss some of the add and slash chords and just kind of approximate them or do my own a little bit differently, so don't worry about that. You can just play what's actually in the song. And remember, if there's an add or slash chord you don't want to play, just play the normal version of that chord. For example, C over E, which is a normal C but with E as the lowest note. You can just play a C major. It's not going to ruin the song. So slash chords, unless you are a bassist, then you can just sort of approximate, get rid of the slash, or add chords, get rid of the number, and you'll be okay. Especially if you're a beginner, I recommend doing that. All right, so we're going to start with the verse chords. Verse 1. There's a grace when the heart is under fire, another way when the walls are closing in. And when I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. There was another in the fire, standing next to me. There was another in the waters, holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden, where another died for me. There is another in the fire. So I'm just going to do these chords twice. So one more A minor, F6, C, and then verse 2. All my dead left for dead beneath the waters. I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore. Should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning? Either way, I won't bow to the things of this world. And I know I will never be alone. Chorus 2. There was another in the fire, standing next to me. There is another in the waters, holding back the seas. Should I ever need reminding what power set me free, there is a grave that holds nobody. Now that power lives in me. Tag 4 times. There is another in the fire. Oh, 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 bridge, and I can see the light in the darkness as the darkness bows to him. I can hear the roar in the heavens heavens as the space between wears thin. I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us. Nothing stands between us. I can see the light in the darkness as the darkness bows to him. I can hear the roar in the heavens as the space between wears thin. I can feel the ground shake beneath us as the prison walls cave in. Nothing stands between us. Nothing stands between us. Verse 3. There is no other name but the name that is Jesus. He who was and still is and will be through it all. So come what may in the space between all the things unseen and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. I know I will never be alone. Chorus 3a. There'll be another in the fire standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good you've been to me, I'll count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where you'll be. Chorus 3b. There'll be another in the fire standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good you've been to me, I'll count the joy come every battle, 'cause I know that's where you'll be. There'll be another in the fire. Let's just end with the tag. Oh, there'll be another in the fire. Oh, two more. There'll be another in the fire. Oh, there'll be another in the fire. Oh. Thanks for watching. Hope you found that helpful and enjoyable. Feel free to like, comment, and/or subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.